Benji Rants. Hey Ben, see that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is coming out. You gonna be getting that?
It looks really, really good. But I have some bad news. See, back in the day on the PlayStation 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was by far the best multiplayer MMO shooter that was available because they gave everything to you. You didn't have to order a season pass to get maps. You didn't have to pay for anything. You bought the game, you got your network adapter, you set up your little LAN party, and you were good to go. That's all you needed. And at the time, it was excellent. So when EA released their revamp of the first Battlefront, I was, what was it? It's been a year, right? I was pretty excited. I was very excited. Now we're coming into the holiday season, and the sequel's coming out, and they're doing it again. See, the first time, they released this game, and they're like, oh, with the season pass, you'll get early access to these guns and this map and stuff. And I was like, well, that's kind of cheap because now you're monetizing players' ability to succeed in the game. Like if you don't put a lot of money in, it's going to take you longer to progress. You're not going to be as good in multiplayer. And now, you won't even be able to play all the maps because you didn't buy their season pass or the map pack. So, with Battlefront 2, they got a lot of feedback that said, hey, don't do that bullshit to us again. So they're like, okay, we won't do that bullshit to you again. We're going to give you a whole bunch of maps and a whole bunch of guns, and we're going to revamp the class system. We're gonna do just like they did Battlefront 2 on the PlayStation 2, and we're going to add the Clone Wars in there. And I was freaking out because that seemed like they were answering our prayers and giving the players exactly what they wanted. But lo, that is not what happened. They're instead using a system which I believe is used in Destiny called loot boxes, where you pay for in-game credits, which you can earn in-game at a snail's pace, or you can just buy a whole bunch of credits with real-world money, and you use those in-game credits to purchase a loot crate. And in that loot crate is a random bunch of items. Now, I don't really have a problem with purchasing a loot crate that you unlock at a certain level after you play the game for a while. You progress on your own, and then these items become available to you. If you are worthy of the items in your skill as a player, then yeah, you should have them. However, if you get a random loot crate with everything kind of jumbled up in there, and they could be items that you may not be able to unlock for a while, but are still obtaining through a shortcut, it's kind of like gambling because you're using real money to get in-game progress. And that's so fucked up, it's beyond any reckoning. Because video games, especially console games, the whole point of console games was that it was a one-time purchase on a game that you didn't have to keep throwing fucking quarters in every time you wanted to continue. That's the point of home consoles. This is why we buy Nintendos and Xboxes and PlayStations. So we don't have to fucking shove quarters in them every 10 seconds because if you die, fuck, what the fuck? So by monetizing and making it gambling, you're going to encourage more rampant purchasing and behavior because gambling makes you spend more money than you want to. It's a high just like any other drug, and you're ruining the wholesomeness of home gaming in doing that. Because now you're indoctrinating a whole generation in the normalized gambling. Like they do it on your phone. You have to buy progress for these little free-to-play games. Free to play, but if you want to make any progress, you better shell out some dough. And in most players' cases, the games aren't interesting enough, or they are adept enough at them on their own, that they only really have to shell out $5 or $10 at one point in the game before they lose interest in it, which is fine, but you repeat this process over the whole industry, and now you've got a whole subcategory of gambling. And if you're gonna regulate online fantasy games, fantasy sports games, fantasy football and baseball leagues, you might as well regulate online gambling in video games, and then you're gonna have to raise the level to buy the games. It won't be rated teen anymore. It's gonna be rated mature because in every state in this country, you've got to be at least 21 to gamble in a casino. You're going to lose a lot of money there. So it's in their best interest to just give us the stuff, shut the fuck up, let us make it, instead of $60 for a brand new game, make it $70. If it's that much more worth it to you to get that money for your development team, and it's not just you raping us, because that's what gambling is pulling the wool over people's eyes to get their money. It's a swindle. That's essentially what the point of a casino is. So if that's what you're gonna do, then just come out and fucking do it. Don't tickle my balls and tell me you're gonna suck my dick, then walk away and hand me a bill for fucking $72 because you want me to get some fucking map paps and some fucking extra guns and some fucking bullshit. It's some fucking bullshit. It's bullshit, Tom. It's bullshit.